We've been testing tracks since 1997 and nobody beats ATVTracks.net in price, quality, and selection. Nobody. Go far. Explore more. ATVTracks.net.
Hi, Gary from ATV Tracks. We are the largest track dealer in the world. We stock $30,000 to $100,000 worth of parts and inventory. We do drop ship 90% of our product from the factory directly to you, which saves double shipping, shipped to the lower 48 states, no charge, also out of the state of Washington, no sales tax. We specialize in tracks. We sell Kimpex Commanders, we sell TJD, and we sell Camoplast, which is now called Camco. Basically, if there's any questions about tracks, you need to call us. There's a lot of tracks that can be upgraded to your next machine, and there's a lot of them that cannot. We have a lot of videos on the internet there. Our website, ATVTracks.net, has a lot of information as far as installing them, a lot of great video rides, and a lot of tech tips. Coming soon now, we will have the video on the new Camoplast design 2017 model. Also coming soon will be the new Camzo snow bike track, which we will be able to sell this year, which will compete with some of the other competitors out there. Give us a call if you have any questions, 866-243-8359, Gary or Casper. Thank you.
Hi, Gary at ATV Tracks. Basically, you see the sign here, it says coming soon. We have a new 6,000 square foot building being built in Spokane to better service our customers. Right now, today, we're going to do a quick install on the new, better designed Commander WS4 made by Kimpex. We'll show you how to install them and adjust the tracks. Basically, this won't take long. Basically, the tracks come on a pallet. We've already cut them apart. We've separated them. Each one of the tracks have a marker, right front, left front, on actually the track frame. Red is right side. That shows right front. If I go to the left side, it's going to be yellow, and it's going to show left front. Okay, basically your tracks will come with 4 bags of control arms. They're all assembled, very, very nice deal. They come with the bolt that connects your torsion arm with, and they actually come with the bolts that fit inside the holes properly. So this year's yellow's the left front, red's the right front. What we're going to do is they come separated. You'll get 2 of these torsion arms for the front. They have a loose bolt. All you're going to do is walk up to the front bracket here, and the spring comes with a loose nut. We're going to take the spring, the rubber bushing off, one of them, slide this in here, put that on there, put the spring back on, the coin back on, washer, and the nut. And you don't have to do this, just so it doesn't fall off is all you need. You're going to do this on the front. Now, one thing that we don't want to forget is this tie rod bolt right here. Before you install the plates, need to be taken out of this and put into the hole. And you'll see they have a new system here. It's pretty nice where they're a square tube, a lot easier to install. And basically put this together so you don't lose it. Now you're ready to install that. We're going to go to the rear now. The rear comes like this here. This is for an independent. If it's a solid, it's a little bit different bracket. We're going to take the spring off. We're going to take this bracket off, and it gets bolted on to the rear here. We always recommend whenever you put a solid piece like this on to use Loctite on it. Now we're going to take the bracket, slide it in, put the tubing on there. We've got the 2 rubber bushings. We're going to take the spring, one where the bigger hole goes on first, the spring, the washer, and the nut. So basically, stage one is unload the tracks. Stage two is to put your control arms on your machines. Of course, again, make sure you take this out. A lot of people put the plate on. Here's the plate right here. You cannot put the bolt in. Let's go ahead. And you can't put it in wrong because there's only one side with a square tube. Okay, now we've pre-staged. So basically, we have basically set it all ready to put together. Now we're going to take the wheels off and start bolting them on. We always take the CV boot protectors off. A lot of times snow will go over the top and freeze against the boots, so we want the snow to go through. So we take these off on most applications, and sometimes it interferes with the plate that you put on. Right now, we're disassembling the nuts and bolts on this to install on the track machine. Basically, it's pretty well exact fit. They don't show an after picture of it installed, but you can't really do it wrong. Basically, this bolt here, this nut that holds the torsion arm, should be somewhere in line in the middle of the lower ball joint.
And then all the little hoops line up on a frame. You can't get it on wrong.
And install the U-bolt in the back.
The washer goes on the elongated hole. There's only one washer. Let me get detail.
Okay, we're going to take the nut and bolt and washer off. We're going to make sure that the nuts and bolts are basically tight, usually with a wrench. We've got one side on with the fixation plate. Now we're going to put the track on. The easiest way to do it is align your studs up and down between 12 and 6 and 3 and 9, and then roll your track around to where it's between 12 and 6. Sometimes it's a lot easier on this here to have two people help you.
Why don't you first? Go ahead.
Ready to go up?
That's the right. Yeah, go ahead and go up. Okay, hold it. Okay.
Remember to torque the manufacturer's specs. So now we got the tracks on. We've got a bevel on one end here. The bevel goes on top. We're basically going to lift up the track, slide it in there, and we're going to put
I got it.
the nut on it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing the other side. It's beveled on top. That goes over the column here. We're going to put that on top. We're going to pull this out, slide this on, and put the nut on. Need a deep well.
Yeah, if I don't. Get
Okay,
started.
then we recheck it with the wrench. Okay, we'll recheck those with the wrench to make sure they're tight. Now before we drop it down, we're going to lay this on cardboard. So now what we're going to do, we always recheck the nuts with the wrench because sometimes you can't control how much pressure you got on. We're going to slide, jack it up high enough to slide a piece of cardboard underneath each track before we let it down. The advantage to running the cardboard is that when we adjust it, the cardboard will move. Otherwise, the track just sticks to the grill, and all you do is compress the rubber. So this will actually move, the track will actually move in and out like it's supposed to. Now we'll go to the rear. This took probably 15 minutes to do this here. We'll go to the rear now. Okay, now we're going to work on the rear. We're going to take it off. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to install the brackets. But first of all, we're going to make sure we take the CV boot protectors. We're going to make sure we take these off. Otherwise, snow fills in here, rubs against the CV boot, and breaks it. We want the snow to disappear. So we'll take that off, and we'll install the brackets, which will take us probably 5 minutes per side. On the Yamahas, they want you to replace the lower spindle bolt with a longer one, which is supplied with the kit. So you want to save this here. Basically, pull it out very carefully. Slide this one up. Make sure you still have your control arm bolt in here for your torsion arm. Okay, so we're going to slide this in. Come on, baby. I'll give you a new nut for it. We're going to C-clamp this on. You'll notice one hole is round, one hole is oblong in case there's any manufacturer difference. The washer goes on the one that's oblong.
Another 14.
Okay, we're going to save this. Put it in your box, because you're going to put this back on when you put the tracks back on, off. Always double check with the wrench to make sure that the air gun's working properly and it's tight. Okay. Okay, we basically installed both rear brackets now. Probably took us 15 minutes to do both sides here. We have 2 people. It might take you a half hour or so, but the first time's struggles, second time's easy.
Thank you.
It's a lot easier to have someone help you. Go ahead. More?
Just bump it. There you go.
Here you go. So you can see where my tie rod here is a little long. So all I'm going to do, because these are all finger tight, I'm going to move it in to where it's pretty close to in the center. You need to do this while it's on the ground, but you can get close adjustment now. So there is a square hole on one side, and a round hole on the other side, so it only goes in one way.
Put them in that first.
Put them in first. Slide it up. Run the bolt through and then up. Now this is just a pre-fit adjustment. Okay, now we can still loose, and we don't care about that right now. It's always easier to put the tracks on if the studs are at 12 and 6. So I'm going to just roll it.
Roll it. A little more. Right there. Perfect.
Pretty close. Once they're flat, the front's where you need to slide. You can, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't matter on this one because it's zero.
You're pretty much.
We've installed both tracks. We're going to let it on the ground. And we're going to start doing our preliminary adjustments. So right now, if you can see right here, my tie rod end is way past where it should be. We want to push this in. So all I'm going to do is loosen this nut right here and keep moving it in. And I'll just do a quick test to make sure it's in there. It's not enough without the bushings and stuff. This way I don't waste any time. I want to make sure I can go through both of those. Still not enough. So now I've tested, I know it's pretty close. Now, we'll drop it down, bushing on one side, bushing on the other side, slide it up. Remember, there's only one way it goes in. One side's square, one side's round. Turn it to where it goes in the hole.
This has got as much torque as that.
Okay, so basically right now, the vehicle's sitting on the hoist. We want to jump it a little bit to make sure everything sits tight. The rear adjustment here, so before you adjust it, before you do the lock nuts on your tie rod ends, grab this here and make sure it's turned all the way in to the tie rod end. This was barely in. Now it's all the way in, so it's all the way in the shaft. Now you're going to lock it so it won't come out. Now we're going to take these two and we're going to tighten them enough to where they're compressing the rubber just a little bit, not much. And then we're going to lock the lock nut against each other. Okay, so the back bushing is done. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to take this one and run it as far as forward as it'll go. And thread.
Yeah, it's compressing it.
Okay, it's tied all the way. We'll do the other side. You always adjust the rear first. You make sure that the front's sitting on cardboard, so the track, you can actually see the cardboard moving a little bit as I adjust, as I pull down. Just get it relaxed in the middle, okay? Now we're going to do the same thing on this one here. We're going to make sure that this we're going to make sure that this rod is in all the way. So we're going to turn it, keep turning it until it goes in. Once it stops, that means it's all the way in there, which means it's the strongest, okay? So now then I'm going to take a wrench and tighten it. Now, to adjust the rear, same deal. The spring is not adjustable. The rear, what we're going to do is we're going to push this rubber up. As we push the rubber up, it raises the track. What we're going to do, see how the cardboard moves? If this was not on cardboard, it wouldn't move. Now it moves. Now, we're going to take a level, the two in the back.
Yeah, how about that?
So now we see that we have to raise it. So all I'm going to do is take this and keep turning it, and you'll see that bubble is getting closer to center because the cardboard is moving and I'm not compressing the rubber. Now if this was on cement, all I do is compress the rubber and the bubble wouldn't move at all. So I'm going to just keep going. There I am in the middle, so the back is adjusted. Okay, now that's tight, that's tight. All we gotta do is keep doing this here until it stops. Like I said before, there's a bushing in the middle. You can only go so far. There, I hit bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this up and down, recheck. I'm right in the middle exactly. That's where you want to be. I don't need to do anything else on this side. Everything's tight. I'm going to go on this side over here and look at it. The bubble's actually pretty close, but I want to make sure that this is all the way in. So it doesn't see it. I can loosen it, but I can't get any tighter. So it's all the way in. So now I'm going to lock this in. I'm going to take these here. Let's make sure it's at 0. It is at 0. So we got lucky on this one here. Since I adjusted that, it turns out right. I'm going to run this up here. Lock net it together. Okay, that's tight. Same thing over here. Make sure everything's centered. And I'm going to tighten it until it's bottomed out. And you can see by the bubble, it's on. If the front is down too low, you'll notice the shimmy and steer a little hard. You can actually sometimes play with that bubble and maybe move it an eighth of an inch forward or back and affect the steering. But most of the time, this is where the engineers say is the best. One thing I like about this system, we've had some other issues with other ones, is that it has 2 bearings per bogey wheel. It's a new design. It's been out for about 2 years, so there's not a lot of testing on it, but I think with 2 bearings, they're going to last a lot longer. So we're done. Probably took us an hour, exaggerated, 45 minutes. You'll probably not be in such a big hurry to do it, but either way, if you have any questions, call us. We're the experts at ATVtracks.net. If Gary and Casper are not working there, we're not with ATVtracks.net. There are some competitors trying to compete with us. Thank you for your time.
If you watch one of our videos, be sure to like us or hit the share button. This way, we put a lot of text tips and a lot of riding videos. You'll be able to be the first one to enjoy our ride on YouTube. Thank you.